Good morning, everyone. Yeah, very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Yes, in the last class, we have studied about, or we have done with the modifications, or we have done with the chapter. Now, the today's topic is the hardware and the software selection. And this is the last class for this, we can say this revision of the website design. That is, what are the various hardware, what are the various software terms that we use for the selection, that is hardware and the software selection. First one is the objective, then introduction, what are the various hardware selection criteria that must be used. Now, what are the various objectives of this? What are the various introduction, hardware selection, determine the size and the capacity requirement. What is the size? What are the various capacity requirement? Then determining or what is the computer evaluation and the measurement that is taking out. Then there is a benchmarking. Within the benchmarking, there is a approach that is used with the design of the synthetic programs, comparison of the benchmarking, then plug compatible equipment. What are the plug and play equipment that is known as the plug compatible equipment? Then there is a financial factor that is for the rental, lease, or the purchase, whatever the data, whatever the tool that we are using. Then a maintenance and the support that includes the service and the response option to the in-house system. Then after that, there is a vendor selection, software selection, criteria for the software selection, then performance evaluation, summary, and then at last there are questions. So these are the various chapters that is available, that is covered in this. Now, what is the main objective? How the computer evaluation will be done, or how we are using the computer evaluation. What is the benchmark? That is the same. What are the various financial factors that is carried out? What are the various vendor selection that is be done? What are the various criteria for the software selection? That means how we can use, or what are the various different criteria by which we can select the factors, by which we can select the different criteria. How the system performance evaluation will be done, how it is done, why it is done, and when whom or with whom it is done. Then next is the introduction. So major element in building a system is selecting the compatible hardware and the software, and the kind of hardware and the peripheral requires is to be determined. What are the various peripheral devices? Why we are using the peripheral devices? That is includes the software and the hardware devices. What are the various terms that is used with the peripheral devices, and what are the various categories by which we can use the peripheral devices. The suitable software has to be selected, and it is one of the best way by which it is used. And the final system selection initiates the contract negotiations, price, maintenance agreement, vendor selection, acceptance criteria, and also again the similar issues. Next is the hardware selection. So gone are the days when a user calls IBM to order a 360 system, which in itself included hardware, software, and the support. Now, today when we select a system, that is a serious and the time occurring or the conquering activity, unfortunately many systems are still selected based on the vendor reputations or any subjective factor. Instead of the factors which are to be considered, which that should be determining the equipment size, capacity needs, financial consideration, and the acquisition method. So whatever the acquisition method, whatever tool that is acquired, that is used for the financial consideration, that is used for the capacity needs, equipment size, and the financial consideration. The next is determining the size and the capacity requirement. What are the various capacity size by which we can use, and what are the various computer that is ranging in size from the small microcomputer to the large mainframe systems that is used with the number of the options to choose. What are the various categories by which we can select the system? When selecting a system, that is obviously very large, and even when we say about the within the lines of a single manufacturer, there are multiple models or different models in configuration from which we have to select. And then how then does the analyst determine which system to use and why it is used? Then these are the various factors by which we can include the software selection. Starting points is an equipment decision process, is the size and the capacity requirement. What is the size? What is the capacity that is required for the decision making, for the decision process? And one particular computer system may be appropriate for one workload and inappropriate for the another workload. And system Capacity is frequently the determining factor, and the relevant features that is to be considered include the following: internal memory size, then cycle speed of the system for the processing, then characteristics of the display and the communication components, types and numbers of auxiliary storage units. What are the various types? What are the various numbers of auxiliary storage, that is the secondary storage unit that can be attached, that can be used. Then system support and utility software provided or available. And frequently, when we say software needs dictate the minimum configuration required. For example, if a particular program to be run on a microcomputer requires say 4 megabytes of a storage. Now, the list of the feasible system that will be available regardless of their activity will be the capacity that is not easily compatible or configured to have memory of at least 4 megabytes. All the systems have limit depending on what they're designed for, and the limit may or may not be a factor in a particular decision or selection decision. For example, when you say that subsystems communicate data only in a synchronous fashion, and if the system does not use, if the system has other attractive feature that will be used for the data communication or the teleprocessing, then the synchronous feature that will be of the later concern. However, when we say about the primary application for the computer, that also requires a synchronous, that means there is a synchronous activity of the sky data, sky code, and the bisynchronous limitation is very important with the 5 ports of connecting the terminals, printers that may be too restrictive in a teleprocessing system that will be designed to link 23 sites together through terminals and the communication line. And software needs also indicates what are the various software and the hardware requirement that is used with the auxiliary, that is used with the monthly update, that is used with the auxiliary storage capacity. That is generally determined by the file storage and the processing needs. So to estimate the disk storage needed for a system, the analyst must consider the space, whatever the space that is needed for each master file, and the space for the program and software, including system software, including the method by which the backup copies will be made. When using the flexible diskettes on the small business systems, the analyst must determine whether master and the transaction files will be maintained on the same diskette on which the transition will be fulfilled, on which the diskette program will be stored. And the backup consideration as well as the file size guide the decision about how many disk drive are needed, so that the configuration will be kept score for the backup, for the data, for the drivers, how many disk drives are needed. Then the configuration should keep scope for the backup data for the backup of the memory. Then what are the various evaluation technique that will be used for the computer evaluation and the measurement? Just 2 minutes. Hello. Yeah, hi Joseph. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
I'm also good. Good afternoon.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Yes, Joseph. Joseph, you have some queries?
Uh, Not at all, sir. I'm still on the assignment. I'm still
You have
on.
not done. You have not submitted any
Um,
assignment, right?
yes, I'm on quality system in IT.
Okay, you are in the quality. Okay, very good. Just finish it. Just
But
finish.
I'm having you with tax 5.
Pardon?
I'm having challenges in tax 4.
What kind of challenges will you face? Should I open the quality system assignment?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. This is the assignment, quality system.
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me what is the doubt over here?
Tax 4.
Task for. Yes. Tell me what is the doubt?
I don't understand
First of
the
all,
question.
first question say or the first line says prepare the quality control documentation for each stage of SDLC. That means you have to go for each and every stage of the SDLC. That may be analysis phase, that may be design phase, that may be investigation phase. So you have to we can say go to each and every phase of the SDLC. As an example that is given, that means you have to prepare the documentation part of each and every step in the requirement, whatever the requirement that is given, such as, for example, questionnaire you prepared, interview you prepared in terms of in development of the management information system.
So what did they mean by question and
This is
interviews?
this is just an example. Like you have either you prepare the questionnaire, either you prepare the interview, either you prepare the on-site visit, whatever tool you use for the documentation part. There is no hard and fast rule that you use the task number 4 only. No, you can use any tool. Basically there are multiple tools for the documentation like interview, questionnaire. So you have to prepare that tool or use that tool and write down the documentation, write down the theory. That is what you are going to cover or what you covered.
Okay, but it looks more like test 3 too. Task 3 look more the same thing.
No, 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 very different, because this is the quality assurance, and fourth part is how to control the quality. One is assure. After assuring there's a quality control. These are two are the different tasks. All right, Joseph.
Okay. Okay. But what is tax 3? What is it talking about?
This says evaluate the quality assurance practices. That means, for example, if I'm saying, just see my screen. This is the quality assurance topic that I'm dealing with. What are the various quality assurance practices that is used? Now, let's see what are the various quality assurance. Now, these are the various quality assurance activities. That is how you manage the quality assurance. That may be a testing, that may be verification, that may be validation, that may be certification. Now, you have to analyze, evaluate what kind of activity is given in the scenario and what kind of assurance practice that you choose or that you chose for the each and every stage of the SDLC.
Okay. In for example, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, tell me, Joseph.
Now, in SDLC,
Yes,
we have different stages. We
yes,
have planning, we have analysis,
yes,
system design,
yes,
testing, integration, maintenance.
yes.
Now, all of these fall into task 3 or
Yeah,
task 4.
just Joseph, each and every step is available in the task number 3 also, 4 also, because SDLC contains many steps or the many phases, and for each and every phase we have to analyze for the assurance. For each and every phase we have to analyze for the documentation. So each and every phase, each and every control is available in the both the tasks, that is task number 3 as well as the 4.
Okay, so they are almost there. The answer will look alike.
That is looks like the same. You have to write the answer like this. In the first step, analysis step, what are the various quality assurance practice in the task number 3. Then in the task number 3 only, there is a design part, what are the various quality assurance. Then documentation part is available in the task number 4. That means in task number 3, each and every phase and what are the various activities, practices that you use in the quality assurance. Then in task number 4, again there are multiple, we can say that tools, there are multiple phases. In the analysis phase, what kind of documentation you prepare. So each and every task, that means both the tasks are related with each other with the SDLC, but not with the quality assurance activity, because in task number 3, you have to write the SDLC steps. First one is this one, then you have to write the documentation part in the task number 4.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, sir. I will conclude on that today so that I will submit.
Just Joseph, listen. Uh, uh, I will tell you how to attempt the question, right? First of all, you have to write the task number 3, right? You have to write the
Okay.
first point, that is a investigation. Then in investigation, you have to write what are the various assurance practices that you use. Okay. Then for the task number 3, there is a second point, that is the analysis phase. In this, again, you have to write what are the assurance practices that you use in the analysis phase. Then make the third point. Third point is designing. What are the assurance practices that you use in the designing phase? Then fourth one is development. That means what are the assurance practices that you use in the development? Then testing. What are the various assurance practices you done in the testing? Okay.
Okay.
Then in the same way, in task number 4, first point is investigation. Again, you have to write what are the various control or the quality control documentation that you prepare in the first investigation phase. Then second in analysis, what are the quality control documentation that you prepared for the SDLC, that is in the analysis phase. That means each and every phase you have to write in both the tasks, but the content is different.
Okay, sir.
Now you understand? Be frank. You
Yes, sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Joseph. So what are the various benchmarking evaluation method that is available? That is, yes. What are the various measurement techniques that is used with the computer evaluation and the measurement? So first one is a benchmarking, that is application of the synthetic programs. Then what are the various designing phase of the synthetic programs? Then what are the various hardware and the software selection? What are the various plug compatible equipment that is used? Then what are the various financial factors that is also available within the data within the concern? Then there is a rental that is used for the short-term usage of the system, generally from the 1 to 12 months. And each month a payment is made for the use of the equipment, and both the users and the suppliers have option of cancelling the rental without any or with any auction notice. And then there's a lease that is also used for the computer evaluation and the measurement. Then after this, there is a monthly investment that is available on the monthly charge. That is also one of the part for the purchase option that includes the depreciation to reduce the tax source. Now, next is what are the various advantages, disadvantages. That is a comparison of the various method of the acquisition. That may be a rental, that may be a lease, that may be a purchase. Now, first one is the maintenance and the support. That includes the maintenance part, maintenance source, then terms, then what are the various terms that is used with this one. Then we are using the terms with the data. What are the various vendor selection? What are the various drawback? What are the various hardware requirements, software requirement, capacity, flexibility, performance, ownership, serviceability, performance evaluation, minimum cost, or the minimal cost, what are the various costs that is available in the minimum. Then there is the performance evaluation. Yes, when we say about the performance evaluation, that means evaluating a system that includes the hardware and the software both. This that does not mean that we are using only the hardware, and yes, we are not using only the hardware but also include the software also. And for the software evaluation, these are the factors that is considered: what is the programming language and the suitability to the application. Now, this is a summary that says what is the major element of the building system, that is selecting the compatible system, how it is used, and what are the various peripheral requirement to be determined. Then the software is to be selected, and the comparison is to be made on the selection on the criteria that is very effective than simply rather than the